Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we aren't just looking at a map. We are officially becoming cultural time travelers. We're going to explore India, a country with an uninterrupted history spanning nearly 5,000 years. We'll be going way beyond those standard postcard cliches to really understand the pulsating mosaic of its living tapestry. And we'll examine how this incredibly rich history fuels and, well, sometimes complicates modern cultural tourism.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the roots of Indian history. Second, architectural wonders. Third, vibrant fairs and festivals. Fourth, the magic of Indian cinema. And fifth, tourism and cultural preservation. Let's dive in.
Section 1. Roots of Indian History, a 5,000-year foundation. You know, the story of India is incredibly unique because it actually boasts an unbroken chain of evolution. If we trace this timeline from 2500 BC with the Harappan period, moving right through the Vedic and Buddhist epochs, and straight into the Gupta and medieval periods, we see a civilization that didn't just survive. It adapted. It constantly enriched itself by assimilating diverse influences, creating this massive, vibrant cultural mosaic rather than just a single monolithic culture.
Now, what's truly fascinating is the stark contrast in these foundational eras. The Harappan civilization was highly urban. They left behind baked bricks and bronze, but get this, their worship of the people tree actually survives today. How wild is that? On the flip side, the Vedic civilization was fundamentally agricultural. They brought cattle breeding, the use of iron, and those profound philosophical texts, the Vedas. And it's actually these ancient agricultural and philosophical roots that still heavily dictate modern socio-religious life in India today.
Section 2. Architectural Wonders of India. Stone, Style, and Assimilation.
So, how do all these ancient roots manifest physically? Well, the survival of architectural heritage relies heavily on one really simple factor: the materials. Obviously, countless early structures were made of wood and unfortunately perished to time. The magnificent ancient architecture we do see today, like those baked Harappan bricks or the breathtaking rock-cut caves, survived because their creators purposefully used non-perishable stone.
As history progressed, so did the engineering. Traditional indigenous Hindu architecture primarily relied on trabeated construction. Just picture heavy, imposing stone pillars supporting these massive horizontal lintels. But then, the medieval period brought Turkish and Mughal rulers, and with them came a totally new technique, the arcuate style. This introduced elegant arches, sweeping double domes, and high plinths to the Indian skyline. It was a complete architectural shift.
But here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. This wasn't an architectural takeover, it was a fusion. Architects brilliantly combined the two systems. You can literally see the integration of elegant arches right alongside traditional lintels, all carved out of local red sandstone and decorated with glazed Persian tiles featuring Indian flora. This hybrid Indo-Islamic style is exactly what gave birth to world-renowned masterpieces like the Taj Mahal and the majestic Rajput forts.
Section 3. Vibrant fairs and festivals, the living culture. Indian celebrations are just incredibly diverse. Traditional festivals are deeply tied to socio-religious themes, like Diwali or Eid, or they revolve around the agricultural peasant life, like Baisakhi and Pongal. But here's a fun twist. Modern tourism planners have actually hacked the calendar. They've introduced entirely new secular festivals just to attract visitors. Yes, there is literally a festival entirely dedicated to mangoes in Delhi.
Imagine the beautiful sensory overload of a traditional Indian fair, or mela. They are the true cultural and commercial heart of the country. In a single mela, you might witness deeply solemn religious rites, like thousands of people taking a holy dip in a river, happening right next to bustling cattle trading, intense rustling bouts, and loudspeakers absolutely blaring folk music. It is a brilliant, chaotic blend of devotion, commerce, and pure entertainment.
Section 4. Magic of Indian cinema, the modern unifier. Think about this. India is a landscape of deep demographic fragmentation across countless languages, religions, and castes. Yet popular cinema acts as this massive, unparalleled unifying force. It provides a shared narrative, literally welding together a population of well over 1 billion people through a common language of entertainment.
And what makes this cinema so universally appealing? Well, it's the melodic soul. It is virtually impossible to imagine Indian cinema without its vibrant blend of classical, folk, and Western music and dance traditions. By seamlessly integrating ancient legacy arts into a modern medium, filmmakers forge a really deep emotional connection with the masses.
Section 5. Tourism and Cultural Preservation. The Modern Dilemma.
We've spent this explainer observing this incredible heritage. But now, we really have to confront a harsh reality about experiencing it firsthand. While tourism is, for sure, an undeniable economic driver for places like Goa or Jaisalmer, it's often the thin edge of the wedge of modernism. Mass tourism can inadvertently push local communities to market imitation cultural products, basically staged authenticity, rather than offering genuine, organic experiences.
How exactly does this distortion happen? Well, it's a cycle. First, tourists usually have very limited time, which inherently prevents them from gaining a real in-depth understanding of the host community. Second, economic disparities create mutual misunderstandings. Locals might view tourists merely as deep pockets, and tourists might feel like every interaction is just a transaction. Finally, this disconnect is exploited by middlemen who create staged, inauthentic cultural shows for profit. The whole shebang ends up distancing the visitor from genuine exchange, and it distorts the very heritage they came to see in the first place.
Which leads us with a pretty vital question. How can we experience the world's ancient cultures without inadvertently destroying the very authenticity we came to see? The resilience of India's 5,000-year-old culture has withstood countless historical invasions, but unregulated mass tourism, that presents a totally new kind of challenge. So I want to challenge you to reconsider your own footprint as a global traveler. How will you engage with living history on your next journey? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, keep exploring responsibly.